We are continuing with the teachings of Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj from the book I Am That. I'll read out some words which Maharaj says. Now, these are from the book I Am That. Ours is a world of feelings and ideas, of attractions and repulsions, of scales of values, of motives and incentives, a mental world altogether. Biologically, we need very little. Our problems are of a different order. Problems created by desires and fears and wrong ideas can be solved only on the level of the mind. You must conquer your mind, and for this, you must go beyond it. What Maharaj is saying here is that we have created a psychological world, and which is unique to each one of us. So what we are doing is, we are seeing things from a filtered lens. And generally this lens contains the filters of duality, which are right and wrong, attractions and repulsions. So you see, there is always this constant filter on everything that is seen. So we are not seeing things as they are, but we are seeing things from this filtered perception. And Maharaj says that to see reality, one has to go beyond mind. Because if you think that you can solve mind's problems using mind, then you will be trapped in that consciousness. Let's say, for example, let's say we want to end poverty in the world, or let's say we want to end wars in the world. Now, the reason why we have wars is because we created geographical boundaries. We established our rule on those boundaries. We allocated resources for ourselves and we left out the others. So unless we address the problem of the boundary, we cannot address the problem of the war. So any solution that the mind comes up is going to be a temporary solution. Now, it's not to say that one should not use their mind to stop the war. One can certainly do that. But wars nonetheless are going to happen because we have found a solution using the mind. And the mind in its assessment of things is very, very limited. Even when world leaders, no matter how objective their perspective is, when they make decisions regarding war and economics and other things, other challenging things in life, even their vision is filtered and limited. So all of these problems are created by the mind, and we are trying to solve all these problems using the mind, which is always going to be limited. So Maharaj says, to see the truth, go beyond the mind. And then the questioner asks, how do I go beyond the mind? Now this is where it gets interesting. Now I'll read out Maharaj's words. He says, you have gone beyond the body, haven't you? You do not closely follow your digestion, circulation, or elimination. These have become automatic. In the same way, the mind should work automatically without calling for attention. This will not happen unless the mind works faultlessly. We are, most of our time, mind and body conscious because they constantly call for help. Pain and suffering are only the body and the mind screaming for attention. To go beyond the body, you must be healthy. To go beyond the mind, you must have your mind in perfect order. And then he says, you cannot leave a mess behind and go beyond. The mess will bog you down. Pick down your rubbish seems to be the universal law, and a just law too. Immersed in doership, we are always trying to find solution to the mind's problem. And the mind's problem is inner chatter that troubles us. We are trying to use tricks, tips and techniques and practices and methods of all kinds to quiet the mind, which is creating nothing but creating even more disharmony, more disorder within the mind. The more we try to quiet the mind using force, the more disharmony we are creating, the more violence we are creating. Has that not been your experience? Maharaj says, first look at the mess, set things in order. And interestingly, even Jiddu Krishnamurti said this. He said that you are using meditation to quiet the mind. You think that using meditation, you can quiet the mind. But it doesn't happen like that. It's the other way around. First you quiet the mind and then the meditation happens. And to quiet the mind, one does not have to do anything, but simply allow the awareness to do its job. That means simply witnessing the flow of life as it is happening, and nothing else needs to be done in order to set the mind in order. Just witnessing all the movements of the mind, each and every movement, quietly, without assessment, without judgment, without condemnation, without trying to modify anything. Just be totally present in this vast, infinite vision of I amness, and you will see each and every trick that your mind is playing. In Hindi we say, man chanchal hai, man chanchal hota hai. What that means is that mind is very sneaky, and it has very subtle ways of bringing itself into the picture and trying to change the other. Even the thing that says that you need to quiet your mind to be happy is the mind itself. So you can certainly use contemplation to see what your mind is doing, but there is no practice as such to go beyond the mind, because practice itself is the mind. Therefore, simply witnessing the movement of mind exposes it. That clears out the garbage. And that's what Maharaj is saying. So, all in all, teachings in this book, I Am That, have been that just look at the false, and the false falls down. It gets completely eliminated. And then the sun of the truth shines bright. If you try to modify any layer of the false, you inadvertently add the separate subject, the separate self into it. Because the one that is trying to do the modification is the mind itself. So if I say that maybe I need to meditate for 500 hours in order to quiet my mind, what the mind will do is, All the hours that you meditate, it will be quiet in those hours. But the moment you get up and get about your work, it will again come up with all the problems, all the worries, all the anxieties. And this whole idea of us becoming better human beings by quieting our mind is actually, that idea actually comes from the mind. Therefore, it is not interested in its own annihilation. It does not want to go beyond and see what it is. It is simply interested in the drama of life, because that provides thrill, excitement. We get caught up in all of that. We may not admit it to ourselves, but we get a lot of thrill and excitement out of all the things that we do in life. All the fights, all the bickering, all the arguments, all of that provides a thrill to the mind. But that same mind is suffering, is painful. Living with that mind is suffering. So how does one go beyond? Just allow things to set in order. By not doing anything, but simply witnessing things as they are. And the trash can will be cleared. So let awareness do the job. All in all, the message is that the awareness will do the job, which can also be said to be Guru's grace. And I think Maharaj, as we go further in this text, he says, when the questioner asks him, how did you go beyond the mind? And Maharaj said, by the grace of my Guru. What shape did his grace take? The questioner asks, and he says, he told me what is true. And then the questioner asks again, what did he tell you? And Maharaj says, he told me, I am the supreme reality. I trusted him and remembered it. End of story. That is it. You are the supreme reality. You are the pure awareness, the unaffected awareness. So simply this very, very simple knowing itself begins to dispel all the illusions. The illusions are not to be fought with. They are not to be challenged. They are just to be explored and observed. That means they are explored not with an outcome in mind. We do not explore the illusion with the outcome that they will be dispelled. We just see the illusion, how it is happening. So illusion can be anything. It can be the world that you have constructed in your mind. That I'll be happy if I get the best job. I'll be happy if I get the best romantic relationship. I'll be happy if all my relationships, associations are harmonious, if my financial situation is harmonious, if the weather is good, if this, if that. It is all rooted in a movement, a future-oriented movement. That's the mind's game. And it is not to be challenged intellectually, because intellect is also a part of the mind system. It is not that if I keep affirming to myself repeatedly that I am the supreme reality, that I will get it somehow. That's not the point here. This has to be a deep, deep knowing. It is not an intellectual knowing, but it is a deep, deep knowing that I am the supreme reality. I am not this limited mind-body consciousness that I believe myself to be. This is this mind-body consciousness which constantly wants my attention. This is a very limited aspect of my existence. My existence is way beyond this. This mind-body aspect is not present in deep sleep. Therefore, what really am I? And Maharaj says, you are the supreme reality. You are the substratum. You are pure consciousness.